Pashas Korach, Tazag Yishma Kasicha. Okay, let's open up the beginning. This Sicha is Amud the Kasicha. Usually we talk about what went wrong with Korach. This Sicha will talk about what went right with Korach. Just like with Israel, usually the stories are what went wrong, and right now the Shaila is what went right. Wow. Here is a Sicha, not what went wrong, but what went right. Before we start the Sicha, it's Yidua that in the Zohar it says that there is Nishmosa Deiraisa and Gufa Deiraisa. Usually we say there's 4 levels in Torah: Pshat, Remesh, Drush, and Soy. It's not the same Pshat, and in Soy it's not the same thing. Remesh, Drush, it's not the same thing. But since we say that it's Nishtal Shlumehem, from Atzilus comes Bria, from Bria comes Yitzira, from Yitzira comes Asiya. So it's mistaber that the pirushim should reflect each other. How could it be that in Pshat the Pshat should be one way, and Al Pisoid it should be the opposite? It's like sich nicht up. It's nicht mistaber. It's a zach. If you look in Chassidus, in the first mimer of the Likkutei Torah, what's Vayikach Korach? Korach given a größer Rebbe. Korach got a größer Streimel. Korach given a Moiridik. Ben Yitzhar, he was even higher. He was from Moshe's Timor. He was higher really than Moshe Ve'aran. That's why he had a grandson, Shmuel Bekoire Shmoi, that was bigger. Shmuel was bigger than Moshe Ve'aran put together, because they were for Chochma Golui, and Korach was from Chochma Timor. What was his mistake? Lost it, Lovid Aloch would be like Beshamai. Today Aloch is like Bezillo. He was off by the timing, but he didn't realize it was not the right time. But the Indian Korach, super guy. How could you learn the Likkutei Torah, which is the story behind the story? It's the pnimius, and always when we say Likkutei Torah is the story behind the story. It's the neshama of the story. And here, Apin Nigla, Korach is a scoundrel, Korach is an oisvar, Korach is a terrible guy, he's a no goodnik. And Apichsidis, we have the first mimers, huge mimer, 3 mimer this week. First mimer is huge, second, third, small. First mimer is all about the godless Korach given a größer Rebbe with a größer Streimel. So how does it go together that Al Pi Pshat, Korach is a scoundrel, and Al Pi Soid, Korach is a größer Rebbe with a größer Streimel? Doesn't jive. If it's a little different, so different, and fakert, it's a lot of times you say Brosim Yitzart Af Asisim. Af is Meramas of Atzilus, because the Rebbe says that in Pshat, you see the Soid, and in Soid, you see the Pshat. Sometimes you see like the Rebbe's Mahalach in Pshat and Rashi, the Dafka, with understanding the Pshat very deep, you get the Soid. Yena Shal Torah, you squeeze the Soid out of the Pshat. So how could it be that here, the Pshat, he's a scoundrel, and Api Soid is a Groiser Rebbe? It's klappish. Doesn't make sense. Huh? Okay. Let's learn inside a little bit, then we'll learn the Sicha. And we'll say Abir Nifla from the Rebbe. Abir Nifla. Vika Korach ben Yitzhar ben Kahas ben Levi v'Davsan Avina b'nei Aliva Omer Pelas b'nei Ruach Kumulif ben Moshe ben Hashem b'nei Yisrael Chamish Usam. You got it? The Parsha.
No, regular Chumash.
Yeah, Chumash. Parsha's Korach.
Okay, the Shalef.
הוא כבר למד אחיתס, הוא לומד אחיתס עם הרבי שלו.
Yeah, and I
הרב גורדון.
why we have this whole.
הרב גורדון, הוא לומד עם הרב גורדון. כל יום הוא לומד עם גורדון.
Yeah.
Okay, let's continue. והיו קומו לפני מוישה, Ellie, you can sit here. We're not charging extra. You can sit with the cold water right over here. Here.
I'm rushing to get here. I don't know what's the topic.
Topic is Likkutei Sichos, a Sich on Pash every Sunday night. I think I told you that.
Yeah, but you sent out.
Vayakumu lifnei Moshe, and they stood up before the Moshe, Vanoshim ibnei Yisrael, Chamishim Masoim, Nasi Eide Ki Moed Anshe Shem. They called all the Moshe Malaram, Yemer Aleim, they said, Rav Lachem, Kol Eide Kol Kedoshim, all the people are holy. V'soichem Hashem, Madu Tisnas Al Kal Hashem. They're all holy. Rashi says, Kol Shom Dvarim B'Sinem Epiyah Gura. Everyone spoke. Everyone heard from the Eibishter. Epiyah Gura, Noich Hashem Lakecha. Why are you elevating yourself? Vishra Moshe Yipol Advarim, he fell on his face. V'davar Al Korach Kol Atas in the book. V'yod Hashem Asa Shagoy. V'sa Kodesh V'ikre Blod. V'sa Shivcha V'yakre V'elo. In the morning, the Eibishter will show who he picks to be close to him. This is what you should do. You should take shovels. You should put a fire in it. Someone put Ketores in it. In front of the Eibishter tomorrow. And the person that the Eibishter is going to pick, he's going to be sanctified. Rav Lochem b'nei Levi. Rav Lochem b'nei Levi. He said, you guys are playing with fire. Rav Lochem b'nei Levi. Rav she says, Godel, Dover Godel natal t'klatz. Lachlik ala Kodesh Baruch Hu. You guys are now in the big leagues. He says, Rav Lochem b'nei Levi. You're playing with fire right now. What is that? It's not the minor leagues. It's the major leagues. You're fighting with the Rebbeinu Shalom. Let's look at the Rashi quickly. The Rashi in Posek Vav and Zayim, the Zoysasu. What did he see to say? Among the Goyim, there's a lot of ways, there's a lot of galochim, and they all come into the same house. You guys want to have Kuhuna Gedoylo? You want to have Kuhuna Gedoylo? Huh? Also, I want to be a Kohen Gadol. Listen, here is in front of you the thing which is most precious. The Ketores is more precious than any other carbon. However, there's poison in it. It's death. Nodav Avihu did a Ketores that was not authorized from heaven, and they got killed. And therefore he warned them. When they show who he's not going to pick someone today, he was always sanctified. The Eibush is going to show who is the Kodesh. The Rashi said, well, we don't know that the person that the Eibush chose turns out that he's the Kodesh, obviously. He told them in a nice way. He told them the positive. The person that's going to be the Kodesh is going to live. And what's going to happen with the other guys? They'll be 6 feet under. He said, I'm telling you, this is a dover godel. Rashi says, they were not fools. He warned them. And they accepted the warning. They understood what was said. But they sinned with their nefesh. It's the expression in Hebrew that we always say. Right? We say it sometimes about a person. This guy is such a smart guy. How could he make such a dumb move? His eye, fool. He says, I have such a grandson. For sure, I'm going to be saved because of my grandson Shmuel.
What does the grandson have to do with him?
He's a big yichus. Is that your grandson? And he saw that he has 24 families, all saying, all serving, and with Ruach HaKodesh. Shenema kol eila bonim laheiman. Amar efshe kol hagdula zeh sesidlo lamed menem ani edom. He says, all this greatness comes from me, and I will be silenced. He's heard that everyone is going to die, and one is going to survive. So he thought he's going to survive. The others are going to die. Who cares if they're going to die? He's going to survive. He didn't see things clearly. Therefore, they survived. Moshe, Oyeroye. Love this Rashi. Moshe, Oyeroye. Moshe sees things clearly. Korach doesn't think. He's a very smart man, but he doesn't see things clearly. That's what happened. The Ayatollahs are not dumb, but they didn't see things clearly. Moshe, Oyeroye. Okay.
Does he have anything to his claim? Did Korach have any? Because even for every lie, there's some truth to it.
Let's read later.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Interesting. Let's turn the page. Remember, Bishal Korach, Shimon ben Levi, and At became Kibel Hashem Kiivli Lekei Yisrael Eschem, and that's Yisrael Hakken, that's Mele Blavin, so it's a Rishkan Hashem, and Abel Lefnei Eda, the Shor Son. Is it small? Is it little to you that the Eibishter separated you and gave you the job to serve in front of the Mishnah? And he brought you and the Levite close to him, and now you want also Kona. That you and your whole crowd are really fighting not on me, they're fighting on the Eibishter. Why you are fighting with Adam? Adam didn't do anything wrong to you. It's the Eibishter appointed him. Then the pasuk goes on. Skip one more pasuk. Skip that pasuk too. Turn the page. He went back to the subject. He said, okay, Shmei Dre, let's get back to the subject. Tomorrow morning is the big contest. You'll come in with a shovel in hand, and you're going to do the Ketores, and one man will be picked, and the other 249, or the 250, they're all going to go plots. They all came running with the Ketores. When Korach saw that, Vayakel Korach is called Eidel Pesach Moed. Korach got everyone riled up, and he called everyone to come see the spectacle. The Eibishter revealed himself. And skip a few psukim, and pasuk Chava v'davar leida lana sura no ma'al ole anoshim Hashem ha'ela v'altigu b'kol Hashem v'en t'safim v'al kantoisa. The people went away, and Moshe said, "Vayom Moshe v'zois teidu ki Hashem shlachani lasa says kol ha'ma'asem ha'ela ki lo libi." With this, you will know the Eibishter sent me. I did not cook anything up from my heart. Page Kuf Lamed Vav, Parshas Korach. Im kamois kol adam yimus nehelu of kudus kol adam yipoket aleim lo yashem shlachon. If these men are going to die a natural death, God did not send me. But if there will be a hole that will open up in the ground and they will be swallowed up, you know that these guys angered God. Ich gelois al dabs called Rebbeila, but the book order to Shem Tach
What about his wife? We didn't talk about the wife.
Mrs. Korach went with him. Because the next pasuk says,
and then also,
"Tiftach haaretz es pia, v'tiv loisim es batem es kol ha'odam asher b'toirach." It's called Archush, v'yer du heim, v'kol Hashem chaim she'oilo. Chas laim haaretz v'yir b'tech kol. The Eden went flying and went running from all sides. Next pasuk, v'eish yotz and eis Hashem, v'toich eis ha'chamishim asay nishma krivak toiris. That's the end of the story. We went through quickly, Heidik, Tes, Zayin. 3 basic questions. How dumb could the Chamishim or Masayim each know? There is a game called Russian roulette. They were playing Russian roulette. 9 men are going to live, the 10th man is going to die. How you play Russian roulette? The base of Michigan. They put in 1 bullet, and there's 10 things. Each one pulls the trigger at his head. They knew that 250 people are going to die. 1 is going to live. What are the odds? What did each man think? If you had a gun in your hand and you know you're going to pull the trigger against yourself, there's 250 bullets in the gun. 1 is empty, 1 empty magazine. There's 251 men. 250 are going to die. 1 man is going to live. Will you pull the trigger?
Maybe they didn't want to go into Eretz Israel.
That's last week's parsha.
But that's connected to this one. Why did Hashem put it? Huh?
We have to be next week's parsha, not last week's parsha.
Okay.
Another thing. How does Moshe Rabbeinu say, I need Oitza, I also want? Is he lying? Moshe Emes V'Tiros Emes. Moshe is saying, I want. You want to go with those guys also bring Titus? What is it? Moshe is like rhetoric. He's trying to talk us away. What is he's running to go to the Knesset? What's going on over here?
He was supposed to be declaring God's law.
Okay, but he's saying I also want it. Yeah,
He also wanted.
he didn't. He lost it. No, he didn't give it to his brother. He lost it to his brother. He was a punishment.
He became a baby.
Yeah, it was a punishment. But what kind of words is this? Afanido, it's the
He's not
bekar.
lying, saying the truth. Wants to be.
But it's not.
So what is he trying to bring
Moshe.
out?
There-
What is he trying to
it's
bring
not
out?
according
He was
to
not,
Moshe's
he
way.
was not getting it. That's it.
Uh-huh.
He was trying to
But
bring
Moshe
it
is so
out.
humble.
I
He
also
doesn't need to
wanted
say
it, but I
anything.
didn't get it.
Moshe is not like these other people. He's the most humble of all humans. He's not like these other people, so he doesn't need to say anything.
No, but what is he trying to bring out? Question. What is he trying to bring out?
Nothing by one. Well, he's trying to say that it was not the choice. It's the choice of God. That he's saying about himself. Like, I wanted it too. But I didn't get it because Hashem made a decision that it's not me. It's not me.
Uh-huh.
That's simple. He said at first he was supposed to have it to me, but he lost it.
Here.
He shows that he takes he whatever tries that what's wrong to
Here.
prove to them.
Here.
That's not right.
Well, that's a good evidence. The Machloikis of Korach, the Rebbe has correct a push to Shaila. The Rebbe says Rashi should have asked the Shaila, and no one asked the Shaila. We see that the Eibishter said to Moshe Rabbeinu, "V'gam b'chol yaminu la'olam." The Eibishter said, he promised him that their Eden are going to trust him forever. The Rambam says in the Perek Ches Nisoda Torah that when the Eden believed in Moshe Rabbeinu, it wasn't a real belief because he made oisus and moisim. And shaykh, a person should be mahar, and maybe it's hocus pocus. But when they saw that the Eibishter spoke to Moshe Rabbeinu Bahar Sinai, so they believed him. That's why the Eibishter said, "V'gam b'chol yamin aloyla," meant b'shas ma'at Torah, when Eden will hear and see. And that's why he says Navi that came bon Navi bas oisus and moisim gedolim abikash lakish was Shemoshe Rabbeinu Shemim loy bon yoydim bebeur shoysen oisus balat v'kishavim. Nevus Moshe Rabbeinu ein al pi oisus el beinenu v'yinu v'znenu shemanu. The Eibishter promised Moshe Rabbeinu b'chol yaminu lo'ed. How come Korach doesn't trust him? 150 people are not trusting him. Tasavavir are not trusting him. Kol ha'edes ve'yikalu. All the other Avedas is different. The Egel, even the Meraglim. You don't find that Mesoinanim, you don't find that they didn't have Amun and Moshe Rabbeinu. Here they didn't have Amun and Moshe Rabbeinu. They say it's okay. This is all baloney. It's baloney. We decided that you're going to big the big kahuna to your brother, for yourself to take this, your cousin like this, and it's all you're going to put into the spending bill $1 million a bridge to nowhere, and as I get this, you're putting your brother-in-law on this committee and your sister-in-law on the other committee, and you funnel the money where you want. That's like that's a given dish. Huh?
Family business.
Family business. Well, that's what Gamba Choyaminu Loilo. It's not that Abish said Choyaminu Loilo. There was no, they didn't have a moon and Moshe. Here's the one time where we find that Sai Koida, aside of the 250 men, aside of Kolus Aida, they did not believe in Moshe Rabbeinu. So how come Rashi doesn't ask such a shayla?
Like all of a sudden, the people don't
They don't believe in Moshe. Find the Egel or something else. Egel Azov. We don't know what happened. But here, the Davish the promise. So the Rebbe says, "Am Moshe Rabbeinu is nishkin kasha." And the Moshe Rabbeinu says later that he says that I'm going to show you the Davish sent me. If the Adam doesn't open up, the Davish didn't send. Otherwise, Davish did send. So Moshe Rabbeinu was humble. So it could be Moshe Rabbeinu thought he's not worthy, and maybe like Yaakov, David promised to protect him, and then he said, "Sheman is lachachti b'cheit." So for Moshe Rabbeinu to think that maybe this, maybe that, versteh. But the shayla is the etzem to us that are learning the Torah now. The Eibushter made a promise, the gam b'cho yaminu le'olam. How come there's a story that they were not yaminu Moshe? The Rebbe is a moiridik answer. The Rebbe says, no, Korach trusted, the 250 people trusted. Must have been Korach thought like this. Korach getrach krum. He thought that Moshe Rabbeinu has two options. He could be Moisef a little what the Rebbeinu Shalom wants, or he could change what the Rebbeinu Shalom wants. Just like this Tefillah Bakosha. And the Rebbe says, you find Taka, Reuben was supposed to be a Kohen, and we say yes, says yes, kafas kamayir al tosa. Rashi says migoram lahafsid because your kas. Moshe Rabbeinu himself, as we mentioned before, Moshe Rabbeinu was supposed to be a kohen, but because shlach nabi atishlach them punished him, and he got punished. So he said you could have a little dialogue with the Rebbeinu Shalom, and you can mach adreya hin adreya her, and you can ask the Rebbeinu Shalom to change it. So. You could ask the Eibusher to change it, or you can be moist. That's what he thought. But that was his mistake.
Who's a mistake?
Korach's mistake. Korach thought that he did not believe in Moshe Rabbeinu. He just thought that if Moshe Rabbeinu would be misfollow, then he could toil the Eibusher should change. But Moshe Rabbeinu told him that this is not true. I cannot change. First of all, you can't have more than one Kohen Gadol. You can't have more because by the Goyim there could be a lot of Kohenim. But by Sechel, by us, there's only one Eibishter, one Beis Hamikdash, one everything. And the second thing he said that it's not Shaykh. The Eibishter told me it's going to be on and it's not changeable. But not that Korach thought that he didn't trust that the Eibishter is communicating with Moshe. Trusted in the view of Moshe Rabbeinu. But he had tightness that Moshe Rabbeinu should be Moisef. Moshe Rabbeinu should be Mispala. So therefore, now we understand, ever since Bachlal, in Pshat, a little bit of that Korach wanted to be a Kohen Gadol. He should be the only Kohen Gadol. He wanted to be instead of Al. Chamisha Messiah, it a little bit sounds like they wanted that there should be, that all 250 should be Kohen. Each one made a little bit of a different mistake. He thought, you know what? Huh?
250 from each year.
I don't know. Rosh Sanhedros. Rosh Sanhedros, Rashi said.
Okay, then it's the short. Right?
The seer Eide, Krui Moed, and Sheshem. Just like Lechatchila, the Avodah should have been Bechoides, and they wished to pick later the Levims. They thought you could change, or you can be Moisef, whatever their mistake was. Could be Korach's mistake was he wanted to be instead of Adam. And they maybe thought instead of one Kohen Gadol he kept 250. Either way,
Like a levy in the different stations, different locations.
yeah, probably. So therefore, what was it? They had a big chukka to stand and do the Ktoides, talking like Nodav Avihu, just like the Rechaim Kodesh says, like Nodav Avihu, that they had a big chukka to being close to Hashem. The 250 people had a big chukka. The Rebbe is only the Rebbe can think of such a pshat that just like the Rebbe says that the story of the second base of Mikdash, that Likkutei Sichos that they paid, and because they were not, they paid the Romans shoichet to become the Kohen Gadol, but because they were not ready to be a Kohen Gadol, they would die.
They're willing to die, but just
So the equivalent it takes 2,000 years for the Lubavitcher Rebbe to come and give Sazach Pshat Azoy. Aber gelernt das the Griyus, the Rebbe learns the Malus. Guy is a rich man. He's living in the upper city in Yerushalayim with the rich people, the fancy people. He's living in a fancy villa. Was felt If you go today in Yerushalayim, where they have the museum, where they just reopened, and you see the Kohanim Gedolim. In other words, the rich Kohanim that they live in fancy houses, made nicer than our houses today in Flatbush. Not befedish nicer. Gorgeous houses they lived in. With rich people. So it was felt why are you spending money and you're not even gonna live one more year? Because they had a chukka to be in Kodesh HaKadoshim. They had the chukka. So these 250 people had a chukka. And therefore Moshe Rabbeinu said, I also have a chukka. The chukka is good. But Lapoil, the Ratzon HaKadosh Baruch Hu should be one Kohen Gadol. And therefore, this is a chait. But the chuk is a good thing, so therefore it's true what you said, that he tried to bring out that it's a good. The chuk is good, but the ma'aseh b'poel is a chait. So therefore, what do we see from this? First of all, answers all the kashas. The shaila is, how could he, the Eivisha said, Gaba Choyaminu, there was a Adam one. They thought, Adreya hin, Adreya her, it could be Boisev, it could be Meshana. But it's not true. But really what was bothering them is because they said, Madut Isnasu. It was said, V'atam tiyum ha'malachas kohenim v'goy kodesh, said that every Yid b'shas v'atam Torah had the Kedusha of a Kohen Gadol, but because the Chet Egel, they lost it. So they said, you know what? Come on, bring us back to Lifnei HaChet. You can do it. Not that they didn't believe in Moshe Rabbeinu. They believed that Moshe Rabbeinu could turn back the wheel, that they should all have to be like a Kohen Gadol before the Chet of the Egel. But the Maise, so the Rebbe says, that's why, but Siddush Pshat, the question the Rebbe asked, learn the Likkutei Torah, the Siddush Parsha, the story behind the story, Korach, given a Rebbe mit a größer Streimel. Given the größte Rebbe. He really was much higher than Moshe and Aaron put together. He was from Moshe Stinmoy. He was from Shemen, Ben Yitzhak. He's much higher. And Moshe and Aaron really were lower. And Lost in Love it, Allah will be like Veshama. And Lost in Love it, Korach will be a big man. But right now, that hog has to be different. So how could you, does that go that with Pshat? Pshat, he was a villain. He was a no-goodnik. He was a terrible guy. And since Pshat and Emes Drush Soit should reflect each other, it doesn't have to be the same Pshat, but something. Mamish, it's a Hafochi, Mamish. So the Rebbe says that also Pshat, there is a union that Korach believes in Moshe Rabbeinu. He says, come on, you can do it. You can bring us back to be Mamlechas Kohanim Gedolim. And you can be Moisef, and you can ask the Rabbanu Shalom. And the Chamishim Masayim Nish want to have the schools of bring Ktoides, like Nodav Avihu, to have Kalois and Nefesh. And they know they're going to die. So they had the Mesidus Nefesh. Still, it was a chait. But the Chukka is an unbelievable thing. So therefore, the story of Korach, Hapi Pshat, Hapi Soid is not so different.
Question. What it doesn't have
Your business associates. Yeah.
What about the 26? Rashi says.
No, it's the 250. Which Rashi?
It wasn't 72. 26 for new banks. Shame.
Let's find the Rashi first. I don't know. Anyway, the Rebbe says that now we see that the Pshat and the Soid are not so far away. The Rebbe says that Minig Yisrael Torah is called the Pasha Korach. You think it's a bad one? No, because if you look, Be'emes, Vayikach Korach says Vispala Korach. Lokach Atzma Latzad La'oira Lakahuna. The negative part of Korach was the Vayikach. That's why the Pasha is not called Vayikach, it's called Korach. The Pasha is Vayikach. It's a funny name of a Pasha. Korach is a Jewish name, and that the guy, a villain. If you want to write a book, right? You want to write a book. You want to find a good name for the book. Vayikach. Who's going to sell? Who's going to sell more than? Is Eichler going to sell more than 2 books? So you're going to write a book called Vayikach. Korach is a good villain. Oh, exactly. The Rebbe says because Vayikach is the negative lesson. So we don't want to say that Korach is the positive. Vayikach is the mistake. Korach, Yikach is what went wrong. Korach is what went right. Like I said in the beginning, everyone's always saying, what is Israel doing wrong? Today, everyone's saying, what did Israel do right? Finally, that was guitar, that was good. They woke up and they did something right. Vayikach is what they did wrong. Korach is what they did right. So the emphasis is that there's a lesson that we learned what a Yid does right. That the Chamishim Masaymish had the chukka to come close to the Eibishter, and Korach had a chukka to become close. Alamaida did it the wrong way. So that's a lesson of Avodas Hashem. Yeah, it's an unbelievable lesson. The biggest lesson over here is the way the Rebbe looks, the way the Rebbe looks to be Melam Mitzchus. That the Korach had doch given, nicht nur a größer Rebbe mit a größer Streimel, a Pitoides Asoid, a Likkutei Torah, but also in the Poshte Pshat, a Pshat. Okay, Rebbe shall help us. We should. Huh?
Mitztragisch in der Anstrengung.
Weiß nicht, aber darf man gucken. Jeder Cheder ist ein anderes Bild von Korach. Und jeder, in der Korach guckt es ein bisschen anders. Just like Moshe, I mean, it looks a little different.
But it's not a happy ending.
Huh?
It's not a happy ending.
Okay. They did tshuva, the children of Korach. It was a very special ending. I know. It's holy.
Right.
It's holy. Okay.
Baruch Adonai Eloheinu. Doire in the Foshas Rabbis at the strength.
Oh, well, Ryan, huh?
Okay.
Ah,
Yeah, so
thank
late.
you for joining us.
Well, at least I
Good
said
night.
hello. Yeah, I had a Shiur before, that's why.